Welcome back to the final segment of Data Sources 1. And if by whatever chance you're joining at the end, go back and take a look at the other videos in this playlist. The final section is just links for further exploration. As I've emphasized throughout, this has been a general overview. There's been a lot to talk about, but those are just like some of the big sources. And a lot of the data resources are very subject specific. So what I've given you in this final section are links trying to start out with Rutgers guides by our librarians at Rutgers to further sources. So I've just popped open those links in my tabs. There's a data by subject guide that for a few social science areas lists many data sources, and if we go to the US data there, you will see many more resources linked than what we've even talked about. You can choose the subject area that is of interest to you. We alluded to GIS data when we talked about IPMs. GIS, geographical data, geographic information systems, allows us to map with precision and put many kinds of layers of information on a map. We have a GIS specialist at the libraries. It is an area that has its own expertise, and so I encourage you to seek out our Rutgers specialist or a specialist in your institution or affiliated with you. There's some resources here for major GIS data. Qualitative data is its own area that I did not focus on, but qualitative data has its own methods, its own repositories, its own major sources. So this is just a small starting point for some of those qualitative data repositories, data that is descriptive interviews that has been structured through coding, but it's not numeric data sources. I've given you another guide for criminal justice data resources. We've alluded to some of those, but there are more. And I've given you a guide to elections and voting data. And this is not a Rutgers guide, but whenever I am stumped on a elections data question, I have always turned to this guide by Jeremy Darrington, the politics librarian at Princeton, and it's just super comprehensive. I have never had a question not answered by this guide. So as much as I'd like to support the Rutgers resources, I feel like just in the interest of time, if I ever have an elections question, I go to Princeton. This is also perhaps a reminder that we have a country full of librarian experts on these topics, and so take advantage of the experts wherever they may lie. Not take advantage of them in a negative way, but use them in a way that enhances your research and study. But the politics guide here is great. It has information down to the state level, where all the historic information is, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just, I haven't seen anything better for elections data than this guide. And back to humanities data, we have, we talked about that mapping prejudice type of projects as being somewhat humanities influenced. But another thing that humanists do is they study text corpuses of research. And so these are some links giving you some suggestions in that direction. We have access to HathiTrust at Rutgers that can also has an aspect as a massive text corpus. So it's its own area, but you can reach out to the experts in digital humanities as well. And my final example here is linguistics, right? So linguistics has sort of master collections of language material with as many words as possible. That's a corpus, right? So there's some information on this page about the corpus, corpi that are used in for different languages. Just again, maybe closing with that to illustrate that although we've talked about some of the big numeric data highlights, data/research data is its own enormous world that can be taken in many different directions depending on your interests. I encourage you to explore, as we said before, be creative, be persistent, be patient, reach out for help to experts, and you can again contact me via the links on the data sources page. And I hope this has served as a useful introduction to data focused on the U.S. And you can look forward to future installments of this kind of data content focused on international data, APIs, and other things in the months and years to come. Thank you for your attention, and wishing you good luck with your data searching.